Alrighty, what is going on, you guys? It's Dave Moorman here, your home service business coach. I have created for you a free training right behind me here on the nice whiteboard, and what I'm going to be walking you through today are the three very distinct stages you're going to find yourself in as you scale up this cleaning business. So if you're like me, 5 years ago, I got into the cleaning industry. I went to Home Depot. I bought a cheap, very cheap Ryobi pressure washers, like 200 bucks from Home Depot, and I was in business. I went out and pressure washed homes, cleaned windows, cleaned gutters, got myself going with about $3,000. I had a van and I had a little Ryobi pressure washer. So fast forward the clock now 5 years, and I've got a team in place that helps me run the day-to-day of my cleaning business. I'm in my business maybe 5 to 10 hours a week because I have an awesome team to help me. So I'm not making this training to say business is easy by any means. I'm making this training to show you that if you systematize your business properly, you can have an incredible business and you can live in this entrepreneur land number 3. Now, does that mean this business is any better than this business? Absolutely not. It just means for yourself, you got to decide what kind of business do you want to have. Do you want to have this owner-operator business where your business makes money if you're physically there, or do you want to have more of an enterprise entrepreneur model that you have a team in place and you have more scale? Pros and cons to anything in life, okay? So I'm going to be walking you through these three very distinct stages. I'm going to be describing them in a little bit more depth just to give you some knowledge, and hopefully you can, take some ideas from this and then craft it to be your own in your cleaning business. All right, sound good? Perfect. So step 1, technician stage. This is our startup stage, okay? So this is revenues kind of $0, you're just getting started, to like $5K a month, okay? You might still have like a full-time job because you're scared to jump into this full-time because like the work falls off a cliff in the winter, so you're not quite sure what it's really yet. You're maybe in the business a year or two, you've been kind of like moonlighting this, weekend warrior, kind of grabbing your buddy, doing the odd job, that's just kind of the role that you're in. So you might be listening to this being like, yeah, that's exactly me, which is cool because then you're going to listen and see what you got to do if you want to move to the other stages. And by the way, don't mind my chicken scratch. I have terrible writing, so hopefully you can still make out roughly what I'm trying to say here, okay? So 0 to 5K a month, you're going to be thinking about quitting your job, right? You're going to be talking to your partner being like, man, if we could get more pressure washing jobs, we could maybe do this full time, move this 5K a month to like 10K a month, maybe even more than that, okay? So that's kind of what you're thinking at this point. This is the big thing. I put an exclamation mark behind this. Marketing, marketing, marketing. You have that conversation with your partner, you want to quit your job. Really where your time needs to be going right now is marketing. Nobody on earth knows about you other than your grandma and your grandma's friend that she plays bridge with every week, okay? It's just no one knows about you or what you're doing. So you got to put your time into marketing. What happens, big blinking red light fatal mistake here, is service business owners, we will go and obsess over the equipment, the technical equipment we have. We want to talk about what kind of soaps we use. We want to talk about what kind of hose reel. We want to talk about how much PSI our pressure washer has. We want to talk about the ball valves and all these other things that don't mean anything to help grow your business, okay? The person with the best cleaning business does not mean you have the best cleaning business. I'll say that again. Just because you have the best cleaning equipment does not mean you have the best cleaning business, okay? Running a business is a completely different skill set from being great at pressure washing homes, okay? Pressure washing homes skill set's over here, running a business skill set is over here. They're not necessarily connected. So some people jump into business, they're like, hey, and I did it myself, right? I got my Ryobi pressure washer, I'm now have a pressure washing business, but I didn't know all these other things I'm going to talk about in this training that are very important as you grow your business, okay? So marketing, 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 very important. You're going to be having your first rig at this point, okay? You're going to have like a dedicated vehicle to be able to go do these washing jobs, okay? That could be a truck, could be a van, doesn't really matter. I used the truck, or actually used the van. I used the truck for my painting company. I used the Astro van for my cleaning company and kind of grew it from there. The sales process, you're going to be figuring out, right? Pricing. How much on earth do I charge? You're going to be calling competitors being like, hey, how much do you charge? Like fake calling them, how much do you charge to do a house like this? It's like, well, It's not the best way to get your prices, but a lot of people do it to start up that way. Kind of, you know, if the top guy charges $600, I'm gonna go in at like $450 and just like cost cut the market and really tick off my competition and get like a ton of work for me, right? This happens every single week in the pressure washing industry. There's a new guy, we all do it, I did it myself, maybe not everyone does it, but I did it myself, and you kind of learn from there after you make every mistake in the book. Your Google My Business is set up, right? Or it should be. Even if you're moonlighting, you should be getting a Google review like every second job you do. That's gonna be the big win. You get paid and you get a review that sits on the internet for the eyeballs to see of the world consistently. Very important as well. This is like a key point to learn kind of each stage. How I'm gonna finish up is talk about the profitability level, because you might be looking at this being like, okay, I've seen these businesses, they have all these employees, there's overhead, how much do they actually make, right? And so at this level, you're gonna do like, we'll say $50,000 a year, because most pressure washing businesses run say 8, 9, we'll say 10 months a year. You could do $50,000 in revenue, dollars coming in, because you're gonna have say a slow winter. Probably 80% of that's gonna be profit, okay? You're gonna be paying some gas to gas up the pressure washer. You're gonna be paying some chemicals to clean the house. You're gonna be paying for a pressure washer or a soft wash system. You're gonna be paying for some basic business cards. You're paying your buddy on the side who comes out to help you on a Saturday. Your expenses are so little, right? You could do $50,000, you could put $40,000 in your jeans right here. And that's why it's like, when you can work full time and do this on the side, it can be like a pretty sweet side income, okay? So we're calling this mode startup mode or technician mode, okay? Most of your time for this business is spent doing the cleaning. You're on the job site. You're not having dollars come in unless you, Bill, Josh, John, watching this, if you're physically on the job site, you're gonna be making money, okay? Startup mode, technician mode. That's number one. You might find yourself there, okay? Those of you watching, you're like, okay, Dave, I get it, very basic, let's get to the good stuff. Okay, here comes the good stuff. This is step 2, manager mode, okay? Very exciting, also very messy. Now what happens, biggest mistake, people get busy, technician mode, everyone loves my stuff, they're hiring me, so I'm gonna bring on an employee or two and move to manager mode. Because they don't have this stuff done yet, they will have a dumpster fire and have problems that they'll say, you know what, honestly, no one can do it as good as I can, forget these employees, I'm literally just gonna go back technician mode. You know what, there's a hiring crisis on right now, there's no one good out there, just forget it, I'll just double my rates and be like the highest paid technician in town. And that's a totally fine business model if that's what you want. But for those of you that are pushed through and you're like, you know what, hiring crisis, I get it, I'm gonna keep my boots on the ground, I'm gonna hire up a team, this is where you wanna listen, okay? So revenue, let's talk about the money. What does the money look like? $5,000 to $25,000 per month. So you're gonna have $50,000 per year all the way up to $250,000, $250,000, okay? It's a big messy kind of middle zone. What's kind of in this stage is you got your helper maybe on weekends, you've now moved him into more full-time role. You've likely quit your job at this point. This is like your full-time thing. If you look at your numbers last year, you did like $112,000. This year you're like, if I could get to 200, I would be like shouting off the rooftops. So this is like manager mode, okay? This is where like stuff breaks and it just gets a little bit crazy as you scale up. You're out of your comfort zone at this point, right? It's more than just you, Bill. In your pressure washing business, you now have 1 employee or 2 employees, maybe 3 employees, depending. If your business is highly seasonal, 5, 6, 7 months a year, you could have as many as like 5 employees at this point, right? Like just really hiring people for this short window. But generally, this is kind of where you're gonna be, and I'll describe it. So you should be on a CRM at this point, right? Customer relationship management. I don't care if you use Housecall Pro, Service Monster, Jobber, Markate, Customer Factor, whatever it is. Again, it's something people, when they're too small, I think they obsess over so much. Like, yes, CRM is very, very important where you're gonna build your business on, but it's similar-ish to the equipment. If it gets in the way of getting more jobs and more marketing and more sales, it becomes a problem. But you gotta move the business at this point out of your head. You can't keep track of all your 200 clients. You gotta have a system. A CRM will store their information, their email, their phone number, your invoices, their payment, everything about that customer. You're gonna have their dog's name. You're gonna have everything in that CRM. Phone scripts are important, okay? You're not just going out. people call you, you're not going out randomly quoting. You have a really tight call script that you're following. When customers call in, you walk them through a specific process. Marketing's highlighted again here just because of how important it is. We call it the production pit. When you are over here and you start getting some jobs and some traction, you hire a team, and then guess what? The phone stops ringing. It's called the production pit. You get so absorbed producing these jobs day in, day out, you actually forget that, man, we actually got to go out and get more work. We got to go rebook people. We got to go sell jobs. So marketing is still very much a priority of the manager at this point. Of these stages, guys, honestly, the one I would not want to get really stuck in is like this one right here, right? You can be owner operator, make your 50 grand a year, great. Or you can scale up to this one, like I'll talk about in a second. When you get stuck in this messy middle zone, 200-300K a year, it gets very difficult demands on your time. What I do with my members that I coach, we stay in here for like one season, right? We want to kind of get there, live through it, and then we sprint on and get up here where we're more of a scaled up company. It's exciting times here. You're bringing on your first employee, okay? That helper might transition like a full-time role. It's exciting, right? You gotta bring on that person onto your team. Another exciting milestone, right? You're getting off the truck. This is huge. You've been on the truck all this stage. You can now get off the truck. This is like the first time in your business journey you can have money come in when you're not physically on that job site. It's a pretty exciting, pretty amazing thing to have at this point in your career. All right, we just had to start a second recording here. I'm talking so much and about halfway through now. So getting off the truck, very, very exciting. Dollars can come in and you don't physically need to be out in the field because you now have an employee or you have a crew. Bit of a mindset shift there. You're kind of on this transition mode from like being self-employed to now like owning an actual business that can start to show ways where it can run without you. Very, very exciting. Next is going to be operations. Okay, so this is like a huge one. How do we recruit people? How do we hire them? How do we onboard them? How do we train them? What training videos do we have? What's our safety training? How do we communicate with employees? Do we have uniforms? Like all these things in operations is this like huge messy conglomerate of just like system after system that you got to punch out. Like I think our operations in my company has, I don't even know how many systems, but there'd probably be 50, maybe 100 systems just within operations. So it's like one easy word I can just like put up on the whiteboard here, but I can make a whiteboard for all the systems with operations. So it's just like a Pandora's box, if you will, at this point, what the operations really means. You're buying like a second truck at this point, right? You're not owner operator anymore. You're starting to put your first employee in their own truck. You're getting a second setup. You're spending money to grow the business. You're transitioning from just yourself to more of a team now. I talked about that. The first time you're going to be making money while you're not on site. So this is a very important stage. It's going to cost you money. It costs money to make money. The cash is just flying out the door at this point, right? You're buying second soft wash skids, second pressure washer, second water fed pole, more ladders, another van. You're wrapping a van, more uniforms. Like you're literally going to take the money you made from here, that 50 grand, if you do this in a year, you could spend 50 grand so easy just in this zone for adding another truck, more marketing, more this, more that. You can easily use the profits to go to here. And what I've done in my journey of 5 years, I've just reinvested the profits within the company, right? Year one, I was kind of this, then year two, and then year three and beyond, right? You take the money you make, you reinvest it, and you just keep this flywheel effect going. So let's talk about profit, right? I'm doing 250 grand a year. How much is dollars coming in? What am I actually making? You can expect 40%-ish profit margin, okay? So don't comment on this video, say I'm getting 45, I'm getting 55, I'm getting 30. This is just a general viewpoint, what you're looking at, about 40%, okay? I'm not saying it's not 80% now because you're buying the second van, you're investing into marketing, maybe you've got your first employee, maybe a second employee. You might even have a part-time office person at this point helping you answer the phone, maybe like a bid slot or a Jill's office or an Answer Connect helping you answer the phone at this point. You're getting some help, okay? You're paying a technician to go do the work now. You're paying gas for 2 vehicles. There's more people in your business. So that 80% just got whittled down to 40% But if I'm doing 240, 250 grand, making 40% on that, it's still going to be more money than I made in this one. Plus, that's why I say you don't want to live in this land too long, because if you stay in here too long, it's going to just be this cash flow crunch. So that's why you kind of got to like grow through this phase to the next one, and ideally not living here for too long. Now, a little disclaimer to this, there are pressure washing businesses that live in this land that do like owner operators, right? There's guys over here that can maybe do 250 grand a year, maybe even more, just themselves solo on a truck. They're the highest priced company in town. They make 100 grand a year. They take their winters off and go to Thailand. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But again, I'd say that's a similar mindset to this technician mindset. You're just a technician within your own business, right? Someone more in manager mode is like, I get those guys, they're super high priced, but I want to actually build a solid company, a solid infrastructure, because it's my ultimate goal to get to level C, level 3, more this mastery stage, which I'll talk about in 2 seconds here. So that's our manager mode. This is our growth mode. Very stressful. You can literally take your hours per week, and they're probably going to be anywhere from 50 to like 80 hours a week, okay? I talk to these people all the time, every single week on the phone, and they're very stressed out. They're very busy. They're very short on time, and that's why we don't want to live in here like super long. So look at this stage more of like a rest stop, because you're sprinting through. We want to get to entrepreneur land, okay? Sound good? We'll keep cruising. Final stage, last not least, okay? We got our owner operator technician mode. We got our manager growth mode. We're in mastery mode now, okay? Entrepreneur land. You've got a team in place now, okay? So this is obviously a huge range of revenue I put in. You're gonna be anywhere from like 250, 300 grand to upwards of like 750, maybe 800, maybe $1 million a year. Again, depending on seasonality, we could say 300,000 to like $1 million a year. Pretty typical in entrepreneur land. Now, what happens in this land is it's kind of a cool place, because you can transition from having like part-time help, part-time office, you know, part-time helper in the field. You can transition to having more full-time people, and you get 2 very, very key people on your team at this point, okay? So once you hit 50, 60, 70, $80,000 months, you can now afford as a business owner to have 2 key people run your company. One right here, full-time office administrator, someone full-time to take the phone calls. You shouldn't have to rely on an answering service at this point. You got someone in-house, either working from their home or they're in your office working full-time, answering the phone, scheduling, sending emails, this, that, the other thing. All the million things you got to do behind the scenes. This person's going to be your like jobber, or your house call pro, or your service monster like expert, right? They're sitting on there dragging and dropping, scheduling crews, answering phone calls, all that good stuff. Your second key person you should be able to hire at this point is a production manager. This person, anytime there's troubles or problems over here in operations, like I talked about, this huge conglomerate of stuff, production manager is going to deal with that, okay? So what happens is this beautiful thing here, where instead of working 50, 60, 70 hours a week in this land, literally you could work like 10 hours a week if you wanted to. If you're like me, like most entrepreneurs, you don't even want to work 10 hours a week, you want to work more because you love it. But in the business, you're going to be required maybe 10 hours a week, because 80% of the day-to-day is now run with these 2 people. Okay? So mindset shift, these 2 people become best friends. The office behind the scenes representing the clients, and the production manager representing the technicians doing the cleaning. If they become friends and become very efficient, your life as a business owner just got a whole lot better. So keep that in mind at this level. You know, I wouldn't do that now while you're at 25K or 30K or even 40K a month. You gotta kind of hit like 500,000 and beyond, and that's when you can start to put in these key building blocks within your team, okay? So again, if you staff up at like 40, 50K per month, just know that as you ascend to that 80 or 100 grand a month, these percentages, their salaries are going to become a smaller percentage of your overall budget, therefore netting you, the owner, more profit margin. So if you put these people in too soon, say at 400 grand a year, there's just no meat on the bone for you, the business owner. But if they're in at when you're doing 800 or 850, it becomes like much more lucrative, more net profit for you, the business owner. So a few key things. You're bringing on trucks 2, truck 3, truck 4, right? Each truck, if they can do 250,000, you got $1 million business right here, or 750, or anywhere in between, right? Very exciting, bringing on more trucks. The cash flow crunch did not end here. It continues here as you put on trucks 2, truck 3, truck 4. We're getting racks, we're getting our vehicle wrap, we're getting a million other things for that truck. It's going to take money to do that. Now, budget and numbers is a huge one. You've probably hacked your way up to this point not totally knowing your numbers. It becomes imperative here knowing your numbers, because if you're doing $1 million business, shifting one thing in your business, even 1%, that's $10,000. Or even bring it down a level, $500,000 business, we shift 1%, we shift 2%, that's $10,000, right? That could be a full family trip for you and your family if you can go find 2% to save in the business. So, or if we can raise our rates 5%, we're going to realize more profit. So you become almost like this smart scientist at this point, where you're going in, looking at different inefficiencies in your business and like shining a flashlight, just like, hey, I can tighten this up, or I could tighten this up, or we could raise our rates, or we could package our prices better. That's where really your brain as an entrepreneur kind of comes in to help almost streamline this business and really design it properly for your team to be running. I call it feed the beast, right? Similar to marketing, although now you've got the infrastructure in place, it's super important that you go out and get enough lead generation, you have your brand built to be bringing in consistent leads every single day of the year. Very important. Otherwise, if our technicians don't have work, the thing's not going to last very long. And if you're going truck 2, 3, 4, you've got 8 technicians, employee 9, production manager 10, office admin, maybe you hire a marketing company, maybe you have someone in-house yourself. You've got like 8, 10, 12 people to be responsible for. So very important you keep feeding the beast, right? Revenue covers over a lot of inefficiencies in a company. You got to make sure you got money flowing in. Strategic partnerships become key, okay? Who do you know in the home service industry that also services the same clients? You could go meet, go out for coffee, join a BNI group, join a chamber of commerce. There's a whole bunch of things you can do strategic partnership wise. So let's talk about money. You're gonna have likely less profit at this point, but you're gonna have way more time, right? I traded in my 60 hours a week for 10 hours a week, and I'm giving up a bit of profit to do that. But you should still be hitting a 20% net profit in cleaning business is a pretty good mark to shoot for. Now, some could hit 25, 30%. I've seen even higher than that. Some could hit 12 or 13 or 14 or 15. It doesn't totally matter for your business. A lot of times the higher net profit will largely be a business owner who just jumps into the field or jumps into the office or like does all these things to help their team boost up the bottom line. Others at like 15%, maybe you're overpaying some of your people, maybe you just want to be completely hands off and pay everybody to do everything, you're going to end up with a little bit of a lower margin. So give and take like anything in life, but that's kind of where you're going to be give or take for the profit. So to wrap up, over here, entrepreneur level, you've got a team in place, you largely freed up your time, you can still make really good money on this, right? Lower profit, but you're going to have more responsibility with employees. Manager level, over here, it's a messy middle zone. You're scaling up, you're spending money, you got a reasonably good profit, and you got a bit of a team starting to get in place, but they can't quite run without you. You don't have enough revenue to really justify anyone full time. Finally, technician mode. You quit your job, it's small, it's profitable, you're a lean, mean operation. So there you have it, guys. That is my training in a very short nutshell. So finally, just summing up, those were our 3 stages I wanted to talk about. I wanted to thank you for watching this training thus far. Again, I'm Dave Moorman. If you have any questions, hit me up at all. Or if you even want more value from me, I actually offer free assessment calls. So if any of this has resonated with you, you're like, hey, I'm in this level, but I want to get here, but you said something I wasn't quite sure on, I offer a free assessment call, because what I do, I coach entrepreneurs all around the world who have cleaning businesses who are stuck in this like messy middle zone, and they're like, I want to systematize it, I want to grow, I want to get here in 1 year. You know, I don't want to live here forever. I want to get my time, I want more freedom, I want more income. If any of that resonates with you, I'm going to put a link down below here. You can book a call directly with me and my team. Get on like a 30-40 minute Zoom call. We'll give you an assessment and honest opinion if, hey, I think I can help you with my coaching program, or you know what, I don't think it's a great fit for this reason. Regardless, you join or not, I'm going to make sure you get some value on that call. So if this resonates, you want more info, definitely check that out. I'll put the link down below. But whether you book a call or not, I just thank you so much for watching this presentation, and I hope that there was some value and that you at least learned one thing. Take care, guys. We'll talk to you later.